This is kind of just setting the stage for what we're going to be talking about today. Most of you have heard this or talked about it before, and that's to remind you that population growth is the primary engine of the economic growth in the state, and that's why it's so important to us to look at it in terms of fueling both employment and income growth. As we've talked about before, things are changing now. Between 1970 and 1995, our population growth was over 3% per year. At this point going forward, we think we're only going to be growing about 1.1% per year. Now that's still very strong growth. It's just not as strong as what we're used to. The nation as a whole is going to be growing about 0.9%. And we still are on track to break the 20 million mark in terms of population by 2015, and sometime around that same point, but slightly before then, we're probably going to surpass New York and become the third largest state in the country. And this is just kind of showing you where we've been and where we're going. In the 2000 census, we had almost 16 million people in Florida. By the 2010 census, we were at 18.8 million people in Florida, so a growth of about 2.8 million. Going forward to 2030, we think we're going to add another 5 million people to Florida's population, and we'll be approaching 24 million. And this is showing you probably the first piece of information that's going to play into your work over and over again. And the first thing we really look at is net migration. And typically, most of Florida's population growth is from net migration. And going forward, it's going to be even more so. We expect net migration to be about 88.6% of Florida's population growth. Net migration just means that you have more people moving into the state of Florida than you have leaving the state of Florida. So you're growing in that fashion. And you contrast that with natural increase, which just means you have more births than deaths over a period of time. And so those are the two components of growth that we look at. This is taking the net migration people, how many people are moving into Florida versus how many are leaving, and showing you what happened between April 1st, 2000 and April 1st, 2010. The red counties are at the 100% county. Those are the 22 counties in the state where all the growth between April 1st, 2000 and April 1st, 2010 came from net migration, came from people moving into the state. And you can see we have a belt running across upper central Florida where that was pretty much true for the whole region. We also have the gray areas, which would be the opposite end of the spectrum, where the growth, even though they were growing, wasn't so much from net migration as from a combination of net migration and natural increase. We had, as opposed to the 88.6% we'll see going forward in net migration, between April 1st, 2000 and April 1st, 2010, we had about 81.6% net migration increase. This is just showing you population, and the picture is pretty much the same now as it was in 2000. We do expect this to probably start shifting. Right now, the females and males in Florida are pretty well balanced. Females are a little bit higher than the males. Going forward, we would expect the fact that we're going to have so many, such a large cohort in the baby boom population that you're probably going to start seeing that male or female percentage go up a little bit as the male percentage goes down. Now, median age of Floridians is another thing that you will find of interest. The median age for Florida in April 1st, 2009 was 40.4 years. If you look across the state, it does have a wide dispersion from that. We had actually 3 counties where the median age was below 30. Those are the red counties: Henry, Leon, Alachua. Then you pick up Orange is right after them. And you can see that those are largely the areas that have the university growth or very large student populations. At least, certainly, that's true for Leon and Alachua. The purple areas are the older areas of the state in terms of median age, and there was 8 counties that had a median age of 50 or older. Charlotte is now the oldest county in the state in terms of median age at 55 years. It used to be Sarasota, and you probably have all thought of Sarasota as the oldest county in the state, but it has shifted away to third position. So the order is Charlotte, Citrus County, Sarasota, Highlands, Flagler, Hernando, Martin, and Sumter. So those are the counties that have largely the greatest percentage of retirees in the state. This is showing you a snapshot of how we break by age group right now, and it looks at the ranges 0 all the way through 80 plus, and shows you in terms of numbers how many people are in each one of those breaks. And you can see that we have a bubble kind of right at the middle of at the older edge of the working age population, 40 to 59. That group is part of the baby boom population that's going to be moving over into the 60 plus population as we move forward. And to show that a little bit more dramatically, this is showing you population growth by age group. And you can see we're expecting most of our growth, in fact, about 64.4% of our growth going forward to come in that 60 plus age bracket. It pretty well dominates everything else across the board, although we will have growth in every single age bracket. You can also see, again, that 40 to 59 group, the older part of the working age population, is that cohort in terms of growth is going to be pretty flat. So that means we're going to have some workforce challenges as we move ahead as policy issues. So, and you can see that we still will have a very young population coming in the 0 to 17 group too.